made it, Ma. Top of the world. I hope one of you didn't want to use that as your Rushmore because I just said it. Because today's quotes, it's the best movie quotes, movie lines, however you want to say it, of all time. Okay? And this is the top of the world, Tommy. We're going in from the whole entire history of cinema, the best movie lines of all time. What do you think?
We're going to pay tribute to some of the greatest words ever uttered on screen. I can't wait to hear what y'all have to say. So drop your greatest movie quotes of all time down in the comments, and let's get the conversation rolling.
D, you just happen to be in the first position. We don't care if there's not going to be overlap because there's so many amazing lines said in movies. So let's see what you're going to kick this off for your Rushmore.
Man, I got to go with the general. Sudden impact. Go ahead. Make my day.
Wow, what a way to start it off.
Clint motherfucking Eastwood.
Clint motherfucking Eastwood. Go ahead, make my day. Everybody on the planet that covers this planet knows that quote. Even if you haven't seen the movie, you know the quote. Pretty good. Pretty good. And now man. It's Clint that's Clint right at the top of the game.
That's peak.
That's the peak. That's peak Clint. Peak Clint. I like it. I like the pick. I'm amazed that it's the first one. I know we're never in specific order, but I told you I was
going contrarian. I told you I'm going contrarian.
I like it.
I think that's pretty solid mainstream. I mean, who doesn't know that one? You know, I think any quotes that we talk about today, they're going to become mainstream phrases. And I got a mainstream phrase for number 2, but I'm not next, right? It's Theo next, right?
You're not next. And I'm going to start off with my heater. I'm going to come in with the split finger fastball because I think that everybody knows it. Obviously, it was a great conversation. It was said 6 times throughout the 2 films from, if my trivia is correct, but the first and most important time was a guy named Vito said it to a guy named Johnny. Mm-hmm. And he said, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. And he said it very matter-of-factly. He had his hands on his shoulders. Johnny Fontaine knew everything was going to be all right after Vito said it. What that offer is that he can't refuse, it's you don't want to not do this because it's going to be a problem. So I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse is probably, it's got to be one of the most quoted lines ever in the history of film.
Easy.
Anytime there's any kind of offer made, people say that shit.
Yeah.
And there's so many great quotes from that movie, The Godfather, by the way, man. So it's like we could just do a Rushmore on quotes from The Godfather quotes. 1 and 2.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
So
it's a great idea.
I love it.
All right,
man.
Tommy, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to go with another classic quote that's used again just in regular conversation all the time, and that is, nobody puts baby in the corner.
Wow.
Dirty Dancing.
Shout out.
If you're sitting in a corner, there's a pretty good chance someone's going to say, nobody puts baby in the corner. So, hey, man, love that movie.
Yeah.
That's my pick. That's what I'm
You don't put any baby in the corner. You don't.
I got to admit, man. You snagged that one from me, man. So I had
You know what I love about Patrick Swayze is that how his name got implemented into hip hop.
Yeah, Swayze. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I'm just such a big Patrick Swayze mark. Obviously, Roadhouse and Point Break.
I participated a little cannabis with him one night, man. And
you did?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I marked out hard too, man. In my head, I marked out, but I'm like, cool as a cucumber, man. But I'm like,
wow.
Damn, dude.
That's cool. Swayze, Bodie, man.
Bro, he rolled up in this big body Benz, man. Like it was kind of an old Benz too, but it was just like
a Victor Maitland Benz from Beverly Hills Cop.
Stepped out, man. Was cool as fuck, dude. It was yeah.
He is really cool as fuck. Dude. And funny as shit. You saw that thing with him and Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live? The Chippendales thing? Yeah.
Chippendales audition. Classic.
Classic. All right. I love that quote. Don't put baby in the corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. D, what do you got?
Man, I gotta go with my guy Denzel, man. The quote that got him the Oscar. King Kong ain't got shit on me. 24-hour lockdown. Shoot program.
What a great
So good.
Probably one of the best monologues. Terry Crews as an extra in the back. Like literally that scene, if you're like one of those 20, whatever, more extras looking around, you're watching like a master, like a Jedi master delivering one of the greatest monologues of his career.
Yeah, man. I mean, he completely, because like before that, he was always the baby face, man. And then when he took on that heel persona of Alonzo, changed the game, bro.
And in that point in the movie, he's unraveling.
Yeah,
Spit's flying. He knows he's in trouble. He's like backed into the corner, you know, like a wild animal backed into that corner.
You think you could do this to me?
Oh man, I love it. On all you bitches. It's one of the best. I love it. It's one of my favorite ever.
I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Yeah, I love it, bro.
God, I gotta watch that again. I've been, you know, when I've been watching that on like Instagram, people meme that a lot. Like a lot.
I sent you one.
Yeah, you sent me
last night, I think. Yeah,
this is the office is right here. Yeah,
yeah.
So good.
Okay.
I love it. Mine, right outside in this place I'm standing, I have a giant, beautiful, probably 4-4 foot painting of this film, and it's one of my favorite films of all time, and it has one of the greatest lines ever. It was used in a Guns N' Roses song as well, and what we have here is a failure to communicate, and that is Cool Hand Luke. And the guy who says it, the actor, I can't remember his name, with the big, you know, mirrored sunglasses, and the way that film is set up and what's going on in that moment. Again, another quote that's been used since that film debuted. What we have here is a failure to communicate. And I absolutely love that line.
That's old school. That's old school.
That is old school. If you haven't seen Cool Hand Luke, 1967, go get it. Go get that movie. What do you got?
I picked number 2. Let's quit fucking around. This is probably just the most memorable one. I'm going to come out with it. And that is when Darth Vader says, "I am your father."
I love it.
Question.
Not the biggest quote from
the movie. No, not that. But everybody, you've heard of the Mandela effect, right? Does he say that really? Or does he say, "Luke, I'm your father"? Because there's a debate on. Mandela effect.
He says, "I am your father, Luke. You know it to be true."
Right. But there's some people who believe.
Yes, that's the exact quote. Come on, I'm not going to come on a quote show and pull out a bullshit quote. That's the quote.
So
there is a Mandela effect going on.
A lot of people think that the line is, "Luke, I am your father." It's not.
Some people go to the grave saying it though.
All right.
Somebody,
listen,
hey.
And they would be dead wrong.
Yeah, same with, you know, Shaq playing Kazam or whatever that is, and the Keebler Elf stuff. I know all about the Mandela effect. But let me tell you about another quote from Star Wars. I'm not jumping the line here. I'm just saying a lot of people might say, because we're not going to double up on Star Wars here, "May the Force be with you" is probably a bigger quote from the line that's had more from the movie.
You know, that's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. Watch the beverage. I'm just saying it could be a bigger one. That's all I'm saying. So I'm just putting it out there. D, what do you got?
Man, I am gonna go out in left field on this one. Only some old heads will definitely know this. We got to go with the great Faye Dunaway playing the legendary Joan Crawford, and we got to go with "No More Wire Hangers."
Wow.
Mommy Dearest.
I haven't seen that movie in 1,000 years. Tommy has never seen it.
Doesn't ring a bell with me, but
he's a deer in headlights right now. Look at him.
No more wire hangers, bro.
No more wire hangers. Very famous line. Very famous film, Tommy. I don't expect you to see it, and I wouldn't see it. It's a little disturbing for you.
Yeah,
it's a little tough for you, but it's an incredible performance and an extremely famous film. Yeah, obviously, you've heard of Mommy Dearest.
Yeah, I've heard of Mommy Dearest, and I've heard of Faye Dunaway. I've never heard of those two together.
All right.
Well, she's playing Joan Crawford in the movie. It's like a biopic of Joan Crawford. And you know what, man? That movie fucked me up when I was a kid, man. It was such a crazy movie because it was like crazy, you know, that especially that line, "No more wire hangers," bro.
Yeah,
she just went ballistic, man. Like, holy shit, you know. So yeah,
I'm going to jump in quick. I mean, we all know this. It's 1976. Probably some people might put it up as his I don't know, maybe second, third greatest film. Some people might say his first. You Talking to Me, Bobby De Niro in the mirror. You Talking to Me and him turning back and really seeing Travis Bickle start to, we're getting the whole thing about him. Is it a dream sequence? Is it not? Is it, whatever he's doing in that moment, right? There's been a lot of kind of in the Kubrick sense, a lot of, analysis of that role and what Travis is doing. Was the whole thing in his head? I've heard that, was it real? But the You Talking to Me thing, I've heard so many different stories about that. De Niro was just doing like take after take and really kind of just coming up with stuff and pulling the gun and doing the whole thing. But man, if that line hasn't been bastardized in pop culture forever since that film came out. But I mean, would you say that's De Niro's most famous line ever?
Yeah,
Probably.
by far.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's one that I think a lot of people use that quote. They've never seen Taxi Driver,
which is crazy.
Yeah, and it's been parodied by so many different like commercials and everything. Like,
true.
By far, I think it's. I mean, obviously his catalog's the best of the best.
Yeah,
but
maybe the best.
I think that's the one though. Taxi Driver for sure.
The way he looks, what he's doing, the straps, the gun, the how skinny he is, and kind of doing that weirdness in it, playing Travis. That's apex De Niro right there. That's like, I'm a big Goodfellas fan, but that's pretty Raging Bull too. I mean his cat.
I mean, dude, I don't know, bro. Quote wise, I think it's the greatest quote, right? But I mean, again, his catalog, man, we could go for. I mean,
that's a good one to do.
We need to do a Bobby De Niro day, bro. We got to do a Bobby De Niro Rushmore.
De Niro would be great.
He's got enough of them.
He's got enough of them.
All right,
so that's mine.
Agree. This is another one of those phrases that gets uttered, movie or no movie. It's become ingrained in our society, and that is Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah.
And that's from Apollo 13. Which, it's a great movie, but I don't know that it's one of the greatest movies of all time. That's a movie where I think you could say that line, Houston, we have a problem, like far exceeded the popularity of the movie itself. Like that line.
But isn't it based on a real line? Like, is that?
Yeah, again, that was actually.
That's a real line that was said that they said in the movie, correct?
Yeah, that was a transmission from the Houston Mission Control Center during that mission. So, Houston, we have a problem.
I like that movie a lot, by the way.
It's good.
It's a good movie.
It's kind of a downer. They never make it on the moon. Guys, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Apollo 13, they don't make it to the moon.
Yeah, they don't. Gravity either, by the way. But, listen, there's a lot of these.
They've never been to the moon.
They've never been to the moon. Says
Kubrick filmed it.
That's right.
That's a whole nother rabbit hole. This will turn into a conspiracy show in 14 seconds, guys.
A lot of people wearing tinfoil hats would tell you that it's all.
I will change. Let's change Rushmore to a full-blown conspiracy show. I am in.
Right.
Like literally just go on about these things.
We should do a Rushmore of conspiracies. That's a great idea.
I like that. Yeah.
It's a good one too.
There's some good ones out there.
There are some good ones. I'm a big believer in Occam's razor. Like, whatever. It's usually kind of not that. It's usually like the most logical answer, but it's a good one. There's a lot of these good kind of.
Hey, man. I tell you what, man. A lot of conspiracy theorists are looking pretty right these days, man.
I know. That's what's so weird.
Life has been stranger than fiction lately, man. So
yeah,
I'll just leave it at that.
What do you got, D?
Man, if we're gonna, I gotta follow up to you on your De Niro Taxi Driver, man. And the only way I can follow up on that with something really strong would be Say Hello to My Little Friend. Scarface.
Oh,
nice.
So good. I wouldn't even. It's so funny. I don't know why I didn't think about that. That's like, that is. You talk about parody. Come on.
Yeah. Video games,
the way he does it. Video games, pop culture, life,
hip hop.
Yeah,
Scott Hall. Yeah,
it all comes back to Scott Hall once again.
It really does, man.
Scott Hall. That's Tommy's opening line when he comes in the bedroom. It's a great line.
That's why I put the tire swing in there so that I could.
Yeah, you got to open with that line, then you got to take him out.
Oh,
But
man.
you do it in the Scott Hall voice, not the Pacino voice. Yeah,
I'm
not the
definitely
Tony
oozing
Montana
with
voice.
something. I'm not sure if it's machismo though.
Oh man. Oh
Listen,
man. These late night ones, man.
These late night ones.
I'm dying, guys. I'm dying.
Here's another one. I love the way it's said. I love the delivery of it. I don't know if the line would have been as strong from a less of an actor. But there's something about every single moment that he's having in this film. Not a huge role in the movie, but I definitely the most memorable line in the movie. And it's I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Apocalypse Now. Yeah.
Yeah. Apocalypse Now. Bobby Duvall, no shirt on, getting out.
Yeah.
They're in the middle of absolute chaos, and he's as calm as they come. And literally in the middle of warfare, saying that line, it's just, I know the direction, Coppola again, you know, just incredible with the way it's filmed and what's going on around him. It's so yeah, that napalm in the morning line is it's everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, it's
Bobby
everywhere.
Duvall, man, what a career, dude!
Again, yeah. Oh my God, one of the greatest, one of the most unsung ever. But I will say, Tommy, it's another one that I think a lot of people know the line and haven't seen the movie.
For sure. And all he wanted to do is catch some waves, ride
All
some
I want
waves.
to do is catch some waves.
Did you guys ever see that movie, The Apostle, where he played like this?
Yeah.
Oh man, he's so good in that.
He was nominated for the Oscar. He might have won, but he was nominated for The Apostle.
I hate to do this, but you know, I think it's okay because it is probably one of the greatest movies of all time, and everyone will agree with that. I'm gonna go back to The Godfather.
Wow.
And I'm gonna say, take the gun, leave the cannoli.
Improvised line. Improvised line.
Was that an improvised line?
Improvised line. Yep. Improvised
Again,
line.
just you know, for the Italian pastry lovers out there, you know, I've been to. I'm an Italian American. Almost every function, if a cannoli is even thought of coming out, that line is going to get said. So
we had cannolis the other day in Providence. They brought out cannolis. I love them. I got my kids cannolis.
So good.
It's so good.
So good.
They got a little crazy with these chocolate cannolis and all that, but I like the regular standard.
Yeah, your traditional one. But it's just a fun line. It's so memorable, man. I mean, everyone remembers that line from The Godfather.
Yeah, he improvised it. The written line was just take the gun. And in the scene, they had the cannolis, and the guy left the cannolis, and he saw it there. And imagine that. Like, just imagine how wild that is, that you're doing this slight improv. You know, I mean, it goes back to, you know, another improvised line that is one of the biggest ever in film, but I'm not going to say it until we're all done. Was that 4?
I mean, that's 4. Dude, this is the quickest episode ever.
Oh, ever. Yeah. Okay, good. So let me just say this one. Another improvised line, one of the greatest ever. And I guess we'll go into our lightning round here is I'm walking here. That was a real cab that was trying to hit Ratso Rizzo in Midnight Cowboy. I'm walking here.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah. And he said that line. They were trying to, they were holding traffic. And the taxi driver in New York City was like, I'm not fucking waiting anymore because they were taking so long to do the shot. So he runs up and he almost hits Dustin Hoffman, and Dustin, staying in character, says, I'm walking here. And they keep it in the movie. Another one that I thought was going to make it, and I'm surprised, it would have been I think it would have been like maybe a quadruple Rushmore, was You Can't Handle the Truth. I thought we were going to get a few good men.
Yeah, man.
And my last one, because go ahead.
If you're gonna go ahead and talk about, go ahead.
No, and I'm just gonna
say, if you're talking about Nicholson, I mean, you gotta.
I mean, and I'll let you come around. I'm just gonna say one. Yeah, here's Johnny. But you know, You Can't Handle the Truth is, I mean, it's got to be one of the most famous movie lines of all time, right? And then, and I think I'll just throw one more out there for my honorable mention here before we go on to Patreon would be Show Me the Money.
Show me the money. Yes.
Show me the money. I mean,
just Oscar. You won an Oscar with that.
You won the Oscar. Show me the money, and that line took over the movie. So you know,
and you complete me too. You complete.
You had me at hello. You had me at hello.
Yeah. Oh man, we're gonna do a Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire. Fuck that movie.
Love it. Love it.
All right,
man.
I'm gonna just do one honorable mention. I'm gonna save that shit for Patreon,
What do you got?
and I'm gonna go with the Terminator. I'll be back.
Imagine how simple that is. Imagine how simple that line is. People say it all the time. I'll be back. Like, no, but he took that line out of the world that anyone who says it now thinks of the Terminator.
And his dialect was so chopped up too, but that was the coolest thing about it. You know what I mean?
And it's a relatively small moment in the actual film. He just checks in with the guy at the counter and he says, "I'll be back."
That's it.
You know?
Yep.
It's crazy.
I got to go with. I got a few here. A couple. They're here. Poltergeist. Obviously, that time was huge, right?
Great.
Yeah.
They're here.
They're
Great.
here. Yeah. Greed, for a lack of a better word, is good.
Greed
Like,
is
Wall
good.
Street. Greed is good.
Greed is
Wall
good.
Street.
Great.
And Yo, Adrian. We gotta have every
I
episode.
know.
We almost have
We gotta have a
on here.
Rocky
We gotta have
thing.
some Rocky love, man.
I guess
Tradition.
that would be the line from Rocky, right? Is
Mhm.
that it?
Well, if you're talking Rocky 1,
Any
It is.
Rocky.
But if you're talking about the
All
Rocky-
Rocky.
But yeah, like that's
well, I
that's
mean, you got.
Captain.
If he
That's
dies, he
Team
dies. Dolph, you know, you got. I must.
Well,
break
what's the
you,
greatest
you know.
line ever from the
I
Rocky?
look
Yo,
like a
Adrian.
Kentucky Fried Idiot.
Yo, Adrian.
Yeah, Yo, Adrian.
Yo, Adrian. No, for sure.
And
Wait.
interesting fact here. We've already talked about Scott Hall once. We're gonna talk about him again. That "Hey Yo" was derived from Yo, Adrian, the Rocky movie.
What?
Yeah, Scott Hall was a big movie mark, man. So shout out to him for being ahead of the curve, man, and just stealing quotes. I love
Stealing
it,
from
making them
cool
his own.
things that
Well,
people
there
love.
it is. That's the quote episode. You know what to do before you ET phone home. Go down, subscribe. We're gonna get over to this Patreon. If you lasted this long, we want to hear your quotes. Like, share, subscribe, share this video out to people, and yeah, we'll see you on Patreon. We're gonna go talk about some bad movie quotes.
And that's something you can quote us on.
Oh Jesus, it's time to go. All right, let's get out of here.
Peace.